Don't pay for your visitors if you expect your visitor inviting to scale, because it's just not going to work. Hi, I'm Darren Jameson from Engage Web and BNI Education Slots. As you know, that's what you're watching right now. And I wanted to do something a little different for this education slot video that's probably going to be a little longer than most videos. I wanted to talk a bit candidly about the objections that I come across, and you may come across as well, when you're inviting visitors to a BNI meeting. So whether you invite them face-to-face or whether you invite them over social media, like I do a lot of, most of mine come from LinkedIn, you'll see the same kind of objections again and again to people coming along to BNI meetings. And this is how I tend to handle them. So I want to share this with you because it might be useful for you when you're inviting visitors and you get these kind of objections. This is the kind of thing to say back to those people to maybe turn them around into becoming visitors. So the most common objection I face when inviting visitors to BNI is, I don't want to commit to a weekly meeting. I don't want to come along to a weekly meeting. I haven't got the time to come every week to a networking meeting. It's just not something I can structure. I can do in my life right now. I can do in my business. I'm far too busy. Because they know it's BNI. They know how these meetings work. They've probably been before and they just don't want to join. And I would normally come back and say to them, oh, that's okay, I get that. I get that. Not everybody can commit to a weekly meeting, but that's fine if you can't do that. That's absolutely fine. I wasn't actually asking you to come to a weekly meeting. I'm just asking you if you want to come along on Thursday morning at 6:45. If you're not interested in joining, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry. I'm not expecting you to come along and apply. We don't expect people to come along if they're going to apply. You know, we want people to come along and just experience it. I want you to come along and actually meet people because it might be useful for you in your business to make some new contacts. We don't have anyone that does what you do. We're really looking for someone who does what you do, and there's a lot of people in the room who've been asking me for introductions to someone like you. So you're more than welcome to come along on Thursday. Absolutely fine if you're not interested in applying. I get that, but I would love for you to come along and meet people and hopefully have a great experience and take away some contacts and possibly take away some business with you as well. How does that sound? So I'm not asking them to come weekly. It's just not something I'm asking them to do. And that's the important thing to get across, that because there is a myth within BNI, and it's probably come across from some chapters, I couldn't confirm that, maybe you've heard it in yours, maybe you haven't, I don't know, that they say we don't want visitors to come along unless they're looking to apply. That's what I've heard, but that shouldn't be the case. It's absolutely fine for someone to come along as a visitor, even if they've got no intention of applying. They're just coming along to experience it. So that's the first one. I can't do weekly meetings. It's okay, I wasn't asking you to anyway. Now, another objection that I hear, let's see, yeah. When I ask people to come along to a networking meeting or a referral marketing meeting, I don't say networking, I say referral marketing. I don't tell them it's BNI. I don't mention BNI at all. Now, I know there's mixed feelings about this, that BNI is not sure about whether you should be doing this, but I don't tell them because, quite frankly, there is nothing positive to telling them. There is no benefit to telling them that it's BNI because either they've had an experience of BNI before and they're no longer a member, which is why they're not a member now and they're not going to want to go. So if you tell them it's BNI, that's going to put them off. Or they've gone to a BNI meeting as a visitor and they've not liked it and they're not going to want to go again. Or they've never heard of BNI and you tell them it's a BNI meeting and then they Google BNI and chances are they're going to see mixed reviews from people saying that, oh, it's really stuffy, it's really clicky, it's like a bit of a cult, that sort of thing, and they're not going to want to go. So I do not tell them it's BNI. Never tell them. Sometimes I get the question, is it BNI? Is it BNI? And I wouldn't respond with, yes, it is. I would say, why? Have you been to a BNI meeting before? At which point, they will tell me why they're asking. Because the reason they're asking is important. Some of them might be thinking, great, I wanted to come to a BNI for a while. Or I've been out of BNI for a long time, I'm looking to get back into it. Mostly they'll say either, Yes, I've been to a BNI meeting before. It wasn't for me, I didn't like it, and they'll tell you why. People were quite rude, it was quite impenetrable, there weren't the right kind of businesses in the room, it was quite stuffy, that sort of thing. Or I've been a BNI member before and it wasn't for me. I had one lady recently say to me over a LinkedIn message, I was a member for 2 years, I just renewed, and they kicked me out because I had 3 absences. And I have 8 months worth of credit left. And I don't want to go back again because I didn't like the way they did things. How did I turn that one around? Well, it was quite simple. The same thing I do with everybody that says they've had a bad experience at BNI. First of all, I empathise with it. Well, that sounds terrible. That's horrible. I wouldn't have liked that if that had happened to me. But not every group is the same as that. If my first experience of BNI had been like that, I would never have gone back either. So what you've experienced there sounds awful, but I can tell you ours isn't like that at all. If you'd like to come along and experience it for yourself, find out for yourself what it's like, you'd be more than welcome. And I can assure you it's very different from what you've experienced. Empathise with them and show them how yours is different. And in this particular instance as well, actually, she had 8 months worth of credit, so she could actually come along to our BNI meeting, apply and join, and it wouldn't cost her a penny. So that was a good plus point for that one. Other things I've heard, I've been to networking groups before and they don't work for me. That's quite an easy one to get around. It's like, yes, I've been to lots of networking meetings myself. I've been to things like Chamber of Commerce. I've been to different networking groups where you go in and there's 5 accountants and there's 5 web designers and there's 5 financial advisors in the room, and you come away with a stack of business cards this thick and nobody remembers who you are, you make no relationships whatsoever, it's not something that works for your business. I completely agree, they don't work. The group I'm in, it's not about that, it's about relationships. It's about getting to know, like and trust the person in the room so that when they have a requirement for something that you do, the first person they think of is you. It's not a networking meeting, it's a referral marketing meeting. That one works really well. I have had the odd person, and this is quite interesting, actually both times recently, it was a recruitment company, which is funny. Both times, yeah, I have had the odd person that says, when they find out that it's paid, you know, as a visitor you have to pay to go along to a BNI meeting, we don't pay for networking. We don't pay for networking, we only go along to free events. And I got to admit, I got a little bit uppity about that one. And I said, yeah, I completely understand. I appreciate that. We tried to find a venue that would open up at 6:45 in the morning for us, for 30 people, provide teas and coffees and breakfast for all of us and not charge. But unfortunately, they all wanted paying. That probably wasn't the best response. If I were you, I wouldn't use that one. But there is this issue over paying, and this is a piece of advice. A lot of members who bring visitors pay for their visitors. They pay for their visitors. I don't do that because I have so many visitors I would be bankrupt. I've had, 48 visitors last year in 2023. That's a lot of visitors to pay for when we're now charging £20 for each visitor who attends a meeting. It's a lot of money. So don't pay for your visitors if you expect your visitor inviting to scale, because it's just not going to work. Let me see, what's the other objections that I have faced? Yes, I've been a member of BNI before and I didn't get any referrals from it. It didn't work for me. It was just very expensive and cost a lot of time, and it just didn't happen, didn't work. So how long were you a member when you did it last time? Oh, it was a year. It's always a year. Or they're never there for 3-4 years and have it not work for them. It's always a year, which is a good one, because I can give this story and this is genuine. I understand that. A BNI does take a while to actually work. So in our first year, for example, we only got 1 referral in the first 12 months, and that was in about the 10th or 11th month, and it was for about £800, so it didn't pay the membership for the year. We nearly quit, to be honest with you. We nearly quit because we thought this is a lot of time and effort for something that isn't actually working for us. But we did stick it out for the second year, and it did grow. The more we got relationships with people in the room, the more people trusted us to put websites and digital marketing with us. And last year, we generated over £90,000 in revenue through BNI. This year, we're targeting over 100 grand, and we're actually on track to do more than £120,000 this year. So most members don't get their money back in the first year in BNI. That's true. You need to give it 2 years. You need to give it that relationship, because it's only with familiarity that people get to know, like, and trust you. And that's how that one works. I'm trying to think if there's any other objections I've been getting on a regular basis for a BNI meeting. If you do actually have any objections that you've been getting yourself, put them in the comments below actually, and I will do another video about them and how to handle them. That's actually a good shout. Put any objections that you get in the comments below, and I will do a follow-up video to this answering those objections, and I'll do it specifically for you. So anything that you want, put it in there. I will do it for you. Time. Time is probably the next big one, actually, the time of day. The time of day. And it's, because our meetings are 6:45 in the morning. Most BNIs are very early in the morning. Some are like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. There's a couple I've seen cropping up now that are late afternoon. I've not seen any in the evenings. I don't know if they do them in America, maybe they do, but in the UK I've not seen any in the evenings. But most people say, oh yeah, I can't do that time in the morning. I can't do that time in the morning. It's like, well, I understand what you're saying. It is very early to get up. I wasn't really sure about it when I first joined, but it's kind of part of my routine now. You know, on a Thursday morning, I'm at a meeting for 6:30 in the morning. What else would I be doing at that time? I'd probably be in bed or in the shower. So it makes sense that I'm actually out there earning, building relationships and generating business when my competitors are fast asleep or eating their cornflakes. And of course, it's got the advantage that if you are office-based and you need to be in the office for 9 o'clock, or you are site-based and you need to be on site doing a job for 9 o'clock, then you can go to a BNI meeting and not miss anything of your working day. So it has that advantage as well. But of course, if early mornings aren't for you, there are BNI meetings that you can attend that are during the day if that works out better for you. And I think that covers it, to be honest with you, from the main objections that I've been getting. So as I say, please pop them into the comments. Let me know if you've had any that I've not covered today, and I will be happy to do a follow-up video covering objections for you. So thank you very much.